And hello. How are we all this very merry Friday?
All right.
All good? Yeah, that's what I like. Right, so we have had a hiatus from Free2talk TV for a little while because, you know, there's a weird thing called Easter Bank Holiday, which after working 20 years in the pub trade, it's still a surprise to me every year having a Friday off. And yeah, just some extra time off. But we are back. I'm joined by some of our normal faces, Charlotte and Richard. But we have a special guest. Hello, Anthea. What's your name and where do you come from?
Hello everyone. I'm Anthea. I'm from Engage, Drug and Alcohol Service.
Engage, yeah.
Engage, yeah.
Do you know what? It's weird because you have the Aquarius email, don't you? Though.
Yes, we do. Yeah, yeah. That's our umbrella organisation.
Umbrella, yeah. Because I always get confused about the specialism and the more general ones. So tell us all about Engage. What kind of things you actually deal with, like day in, day out, week on?
Okay, I'll kind of start with sort of an intro to our service. So we are, I guess, a drug and alcohol service for young people aged 10 to 18 across Northamptonshire. I'm the worker for the east side of Northampton. So my schools would be Western Fable, Northampton Academy, Malcolm Arnold, NSB, NSG, Thomas Becket, and a few others. So that's kind of my patch. But we do cover the whole of the county. We kind of do a range of support really around drug and alcohol use. I guess the substance we most kind of get referred into our service is cannabis. Mm-hmm. And we work with young people really on what they want to work on. So for some young people, that is their kind of goal is to cut down. For some young people, their goal is to be abstinent, so not to use at all. Some young people are quite happy with the level of their drug use, don't see it as problematic. So we can offer what we call a brief intervention, where we would offer maybe 1 or 2 sessions to kind of do some education work around, risks around, for example, using cannabis, what some of the health implications might be. And also a big piece of our work is also harm reduction, which means that we would talk to young people about if they are going to use a drug, how to use it safely, really. So obviously, there is no safe drug use, and our message is always, the safest drug use is no use. But obviously, we know that lots of people like to drink alcohol or smoke weed or smoke cigarettes or try other substances. And as far as they're concerned, it doesn't really impact on their health and well-being.
That sounds great. Wicked. Right. So we've worked in conjunction before. We were on a course a few weeks together as well. But before we dive in with any other stuff, I've got a few hellos. Hello, Georgia. Nice to see you again, Charlotte. She does this every time. It's nice to see Charlotte and Richard. Doesn't like to see the baldy. I mean, every time. But if you are watching, please give us a like. Please give us a comment. Please say hello. During the conversation that we have, if you've got anything you want to add or interject with, please put it up and I can, as long as it's appropriate, I should add, as long as it's appropriate, I can share it and we can all discuss it live. And sorry, James, that's all right. It's fine. Every time. So I just want to, touch back on with Engage again. I mean, when we've worked with young people in Free2talk, I mean, I think that message is quite important. We do want to say, all these drugs, you shouldn't really be doing them, but a communication of how to do this stuff safely, I think, is just important. And I think because we were on that session about drugs and alcohol, and obviously I'm an ex-licensee. Well, I'm still a licensee technically, and it's like the questions about alcohol was like, I kind of know it, but I think it's very important as long as people do it safely with anything. That's probably the best way to go. We've already got a question for you, Anthea. Oh, here we go. So Georgia said, Anthea, are there some medicinal benefits to some drugs?
That is very true. There are some medicinal benefits to many drugs because they are sort of psychoactive. They work on the way we feel and think. Obviously, some prescription medications and obviously some illicit drugs do have some medicinal benefits. It's quite a complex topic, but obviously cannabis is the one that we're kind of hearing about more. So medicinal cannabis use obviously being legalised to a degree. I mean, it's really hard to get hold of. and I think there's lots of stuff on sort of social media about, it cures everything, but it's a licensed medication, medical cannabis.
Does that cover CBD oil as well?
CBD oil obviously isn't illegal because it doesn't contain any THC. It contains a really trace amount, which is not going to get you high, which is obviously why you can buy it. I think the view is that it's potentially a bit of a well-being product. People do find it useful for certain things, sleep, anxiety, but there is also a market, a lucrative market in it being a well-being product. Hence, you can buy fizzy drinks within it that are, purple, that are aimed at children with a cannabis leaf on the front. You can buy face creams, moisturizers. I think Body Shop sells some sort of CBD type, range. So it's becoming it's a wellness product, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
The scientifically, I think the jury's still out because it's about quality as well, what people are buying, where they're buying it from, and dosage.
So there's no age requirement for CBD oil, is there?
There isn't, as far as I'm aware, no. I mean, obviously, parental discretion, I guess. We do have some young people that do use it for sleep benefits or, anxiety. And lots of drugs have, some of the other drugs with MDMA, obviously are being looked at for treatment in sort of long-term depression, also treatment-resistant depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. So we are, lots of the other drugs that we kind of see as like the class A's, sort of not traditionally been thought of as a medicinal benefit, are being experimented with. But that doesn't mean that young people can start taking MDMA thinking it'll get rid of their depression.
Please,
by the way.
please don't.
Please do not do that.
No,
because again, it's a controlled study. It's a pure drug. It's not something you've bought that's mixed with God knows what. You're under the, you're being given therapeutic support alongside it. So there definitely seems to be lots of young people asking about, will it help my mood?
Yeah. I mean, I find, me personally, I don't know, it's because of my age and working the pub trade, but, I've seen some people in terrible states of affairs, should we say, and it's not always the alcohol that's done it. It's, a cocktail of drugs they've had. And the first thing that goes through my head is like, will it help my mood? It's not the first thing that goes through my head, if I'm honest.
No.
Right, so George has just put it up. I know some GPs and specialists have been trialling the medicinal benefit of prescribed cannabis for pain relief for chronic conditions. I was going to be in a trial prior to COVID back in 2019. That's weird.
That's exciting. Yeah, I mean, there is a massive study at the moment, Project 21, by Professor Nutt, who's obviously you have to pay for the prescription, but I think it's 20,000 people, so it's a huge study, but you get reduced. I can't remember how much it is to have a prescription, but it's a reduced, reduced cost.
Yeah.
So there are clinical trials.
Well, I mean, Georgia's she just put this in front of me before I had a chance. So, because I was going to move to Charlotte and Richard, she's like, Charlotte, what's your opinion on this? But I think we do need to get, because we do have our youth correspondents here. So we'll go for Charlotte first. What's your kind of thoughts on all this that's been discussed so far?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I think like you said, in sort of moderation, I think, and if you're doing it responsibly, there are benefits to it, but at the same time, if people are bringing harm to themselves and to others, it's obviously not something that should be encouraged. I do think the trials and everything are quite interesting, and I think because they're sort of expanding it in like a safe way, and it's nice and controlled, I think it would be interesting to see what happens as a result of it, if it's successful or not. Yeah.
Cool. Richard?
What does medicinal mean?
Right, so this is good. This is fine. So medicinal means you're basically using it for medical purposes. So, for example, cannabis. People say cannabis helps with arthritis, for example. So a medicinal purpose is you have cannabis to help with your arthritis.
So you're using it not for just fun, you're using it for
not recreational. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
what we call fun for fun. It's not for fun.
Yeah.
It's for some medical benefit. Yeah.
All right.
It's a bit of a tricky one, I think.
Yeah.
It is licensed for
it's
3 conditions in the UK at the moment. For actually, but it is still incredibly hard to get hold of. So one of those conditions is for cancer patients because it helps with nausea. So there are 3 conditions it has a license for in this country at present.
Yeah. Oh, George is going for all the big questions here. Whoa, here we go. Right. What do you think about politicians having shared or involvement in cannabis farms internationally, but refusing to allow cannabis to be legalized here?
I think we probably need to come back and do a session on young people's views on drugs. I mean, obviously, we are the biggest UK exporters, so there's lots to be said about that. We are a big exporter of cannabis. So I think it could be a little topic on its own merit, really.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia, I definitely don't want to kind of ignore that. But this is the first time I've had Anthea on Free to Talk TV, and we're trying to institute some changes in how we operate, and we can definitely do one again, Anthea, can't we?
I'm up for that.
And we even do it not on a Friday at 5 o'clock. So actually do it maybe in school time so people can see it. Right. So Georgia, I'm just going to skip that because we did want to talk about a bit first, like young people mainly going missing in the UK. So Georgia said, sorry, guys, we'd love to have you on a tea on toast too. Send us the details. We will come on. Have you been on Community Courtyards?
I think Zoe, my manager, was on this week, or was it?
Okay, wicked.
Yeah, this week.
Yeah. So I'll definitely just send me the details, Georgia or Charlotte, or whatever, and we're free to come on. Right. So missing young people in the UK. So we're going to focus a little bit at first on Richard Okoroguge. I think did I pronounce it right there?
Yeah.
I believe so. So. This obviously happened. The story came out at the beginning of April that Richard basically got in a taxi away from his London home and then was subsequently found dead. Now, before we go into other details and discuss it further, I just want to point out I've seen a lot of young people locally or young people known to our organisations who have gone missing or have been subsequently found and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to put a disclaimer in. Please don't name names in the chat in any way, shape or form. We're going to be trying to talk about this in a more general way. I don't want to kind of isolate or ostracize a young person who's may already be having issues or problems with the lockdown or their own mental health. Okay, so I've got some statistics, some stories, and we'll have a bit more of a open general discussion. So Richard, so it may have been referred to the police, but dog, I'm not entirely interested in that. What I'm more interested in is the reasons for him going missing. So has anyone got any initial thoughts they want to share, what they know about the story? We'll just go down below me. Charlotte, you can go first.
I mean, I thought I was sort of following the story as it went along. And I just thought, to be honest, there wasn't a lot of information. It wasn't a really well-known case for a while. I only sort of knew about it from my friends and everything, sharing it on social media. And I just think, to start with, I think it should have been in the media more. Obviously it's a really sad case. He was quite young. I just think it could have been sort of spread a bit more, and there could have been something done a bit sooner, hopefully, than what was done. Yeah.
I mean, I do just, because I've just carry on this thought there. I mean, the initial missing persons report, it says there was issued on the 22nd of March. I do want to point out that I think there's a lot of misunderstanding because of Americanisms with this, like that someone has to be missing for 24 hours before the police will do anything. That's completely not true.
Is that the case in America?
It's not even true in America. It's been used in like TV shows and films for years and years and years, and it's become like this kind of urban legend almost. If you believe anybody, young or old, it could come to harm and they've gone missing, report it straight away. That's what I just want to point out and just put there. If you believe they're at risk, put it in. Anthea, what's your thoughts on the way the story is unravelled?
I think I guess there was. My gut instinct when I heard about his story was that this probably wasn't going to have a great outcome, if I'm honest, because it seemed very out of character for him. He didn't leave that. I think I read that he hadn't left the house because of lockdown because of his sickle cell. He was only going out for appointments. And as time went on, I thought I did get the gut instinct that he would probably be found dead. And then I think a bit later on, there was some talk about him possibly mum thinking he might have been depressed, and also some concern that he might have met somebody online, because he was gaming. I don't know what gaming he was gaming. Somebody he met online, but I think as far as I've seen, there's no cause of death as of yet, and there's no evidence. There's no evidence of any foul play at all. So.
No, there's nothing suspicious as of yet of his death. I mean, he was 19, I think. He was 19. Yeah, so he's 19. And the other claim by his mother has been made that because she was initially told her son was an adult who could go out and come back whenever he wanted. Now, so I think there's some difficulty here with like the definition of what a young person is. Richard, you're a young person. When are you an adult? When do you consider yourself to be an adult?
18.
18? Yeah. So if you went missing at 19, would you hope that people could still report you as being missing? You'd be looked for?
Yeah.
It's like no, there's no two ways about it, is there? Surely, if it's someone that is at risk and it's reported to the police, that kind of language should never be used ever. What is anyone else's thoughts on that? I mean, obviously this has been investigated by the police.
You never asked me for my thoughts or anything.
Oh yeah, your thoughts. Sorry, Richard. Richard, what are your thoughts on it?
I didn't actually know this until he was spotted on a CCTV. A friend sent me it, and I was like, I felt like, why are you sending me this? Because he didn't normally, and he said have a read, and I was like, oh, I didn't know about this, and now I read into for more, seeing that the police did nothing about it at first, then him getting seen on CCTV to, I think he was like found near a pond or something. Yeah,
he was, yeah.
But that was like the last thing I saw about him. I didn't know he died.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, does that talk about something of coverage of missing persons? Do we need more coverage of it? Like, I mean, because we have. I mean, I've got a list of like Facebook groups as a starter, but I'm sure Charlotte and Richard will probably be the first ones to point this out. Young people don't use Facebook anymore because it's for old people. You use the messenger on it, mainly,
no, I use Facebook.
Oh, do you?
This is how I found out a couple people has gone missing in the local area.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna say who, but that's how I found out.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
I don't use it as frequent as other social medias, but I do still use it occasionally. Yeah.
So do you think then there's a better social media platform for getting this information out?
I would say probably Instagram or I guess TikTok.
Not Twitter. Not Twitter.
But I think definitely Instagram is. A lot of my friends use it. I don't know about you, Richard, but I think that's a massive one.
Instagram is my most used social media app.
Me too, yeah.
Anthea, do you use it? Do you use Instagram?
I do use Instagram, yes.
I'm the only one that doesn't. Oh no!
Maybe you should get one.
I should, yeah.
I'm not really a poster. I'm more of an observer.
One of those. Oh, what's happening? Yeah. So I mean, through lockdown as well. I mean, I haven't got any kind of the latest statistics, but do you think there's been an uprise in people going missing, or young people in particular? Has anyone got any thoughts on that?
I've seen these past 2 weeks, I have seen more reports on people going missing.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research for the session, and it said since the start of this year, more males have been reported missing than females. Since 2021, twice as many reports of transgender individuals going missing has occurred. So I'd say it definitely has increased in the past year, 2 years. Yeah, especially since lockdown as well.
I mean, Anthony, have you had any like reports into Engage or anything in particular? Have you seen an uptick?
Not in particular, but I imagine restriction of movement would have meant that some young people would have needed to go missing. Because of their vulnerabilities and circumstances, but not as a service. As far as I'm aware, we haven't noticed a spike in young people going missing. But obviously, we do have missing young people, that go missing regularly in our service, just by the nature of our service.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So, I mean, Richard isn't we've got some CCTV.
That's the bit where I first saw him.
So the one you first saw. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very sad story. I think I want to we'll cover someone else that went missing in over a similar period of time. Blessing. I haven't checked how to pronounce her name, so I'm not going to try it at the moment. But it was a 21-year-old that again went missing, but was found dead on a beach. And obviously, campaigners are looking for an inquiry into her death because not a lot has come out of it. I haven't even heard of this one. So she was found on a beach with her mobile phone, like a meter or two away from her body, and it just appears to have been, should we say, misinvestigated to a degree. Now, a lot of these queries, because I mean, I've kind of done this on purpose. So, both individuals, do you represent a minority? I can't get a picture for Blessing. So, I'm wondering. This could be a difficult question to obviously answer, because there are calls from certain areas of society to say that these missing people weren't investigated properly because of the colour of their skin. Anyone's thoughts on that?
That's what I think what happened with Richard, with the police not doing anything at first.
Because he was a young black man.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I would agree.
I mean, it's a horrible situation, obviously. Sorry, go on, Charlotte.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say that I think, like Richard said at the start, as they're reported missing, I think there should be more coverage generally anyway, but especially for minorities. I think it should be pushed further, even on social media or on the news or anything, because I do think there is, a lacking in that at the moment. I think it should be pushed from the start, not once they find more evidence or anything, because the earlier you start, the better chance they haven't been found.
Yeah, definitely. Anthea?
I sort of do wonder whether it's because they're adults more so. I mean, I definitely think when it comes to young people, I'm only going by what I've seen in sort of Northampton when I see Northampton Police Facebook posts about missing young people. There's different ethnicities, that go missing and are asked. The support is asked, can you help find this young person? This person's gone missing. So it'd be interesting to see in this period whether there were other stories of adults that had gone missing that weren't investigated because they were an adult or there wasn't a concern. So yeah, I'm uncertain really.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think the age thing though that you've brought up is quite important. Like, for example, like with Free to Talk, like as a youth work organisation, we go up to 19 years of age. Anthony, you got up to 18, don't you?
We do 18, but a bit older people are in care sometimes.
Yeah. So in care is another aspect, but there are other organisations that kind of count you still as a young person up to like mid-20s, like 25 sometimes. That's where you get the kind of funding for. So it's like youth and young adult type avenue. So, I mean, if people are judging missing persons reports by their age. I just wish they wouldn't. I just wish they'd treat everyone as equally as they are able with the missing persons reports.
Definitely, especially I don't think it should matter really if you're classed as a young person or an adult, because I mean, even Richard was only 19, but I think even if a 60-year-old goes missing, I think they should be treated with the same level of urgency. And I know young people who are vulnerable, they might need more support or something. I'm not sure, but I think everyone should be treated with the same level of urgency from the get-go, your age definitely. Or anything like that.
Right, so I've got a few bits of statistics and stuff. Now, as I said, these probably aren't the most recent ones, but I think they're kind of good to consider. So, apparently, someone is reported missing every 90 seconds in the UK, which I think is mad. And 176,000 people are reported missing every year. So the split of that is about 100,000 adults and 76,000 children. So that is a huge amount. Like 76,000 children are reported missing every year as an average. I mean, any comments about those figures?
Too much.
Yeah. Way
too much?
Yeah. I mean, the first one was really shocking, I think.
I mean, these reports are from the National Crime Agency in 2016 to 2017. So the most recent ones with I suppose young people. I mean, because Anthea, you did bring it up about young people's personal situations. It might not actually be a safe environment for them to be in, and these reports of missing persons kind of might be not safe for those young people, I suppose, in a way. But Anthony, do you think there's any way we can combat that?
I think it's very difficult, especially when you their intervention is there for young people that go missing. Like the police will follow that up. There is a process, and obviously some young people will just go missing once, and it's potentially just a conflict or an argument that's quite low scale. There's not really any other complications in the family. But I think when someone's repeatedly going missing, I think that's really difficult to manage because I imagine their pull factors are probably greater than. When I say pull factors, I mean because of their vulnerabilities, things that are pulling them, for example, exploitation. The other issue is, I'm going to refer to the care. People in care tend to go missing more often, and that can be because they've had to move counties, or they're in one placement 1 week and then they get moved somewhere else, and they just things are very unstable for them, so they're drawn to go and meet with those friends that might live in a different county or in a different part of the country, because they're kind of unstable in terms of environment.
I mean, do you we obviously, I work with young people that I'm kind of a point of contact that they feel comfortable with. I mean, do you have a dedicated team for that, like for mentoring with Engage? Do it yourself?
We kind of do it as a worker, but we do have our sort of mentor. I think you've met Laura.
Yeah.
Who does our Evolve? So there is a sort of diversion activities for young people to sort of divert them away from substances. But I think most workers will, explore, if someone's going missing, because we'll either get alerts from police or they're kind of, as soon as they're missing, we'll get an alert from a social worker.
Yeah.
Not so much if they're not involved with other services.
Okay, cool.
And like I say, it's hugely underreported as well, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the figures. I mean, this is the other difficulty. Like, it's a difficult one because it's unreported. It may appear like it was like, only 50,000 young people have gone missing this year. But it's because of so many being unreported because they might not have any faith in the police or the system or whatever. Or that it might be an element of not caring. It's a real difficult one. Right, before we carry on, because I want to focus after this. I've got a little video I want to play, and then I want to focus on Charlotte and Richard. You're going to rule the roost and be in charge of the conversation. So now this video is from 2016. Let me just get rid of that. It was made by is it Trafford Talk Shop Trafford, and it's some young people actually sharing the reasons why they ran away or went missing. So it's about 3 minutes long. So we'll show you this, and then we'll talk about some more stuff.
I ran away because I had an argument with my mum. I jumped on the train. I didn't know where it was going. I had no money and I had no food. My mum tried to phone me. I just ignored her. I slept rough on the streets. Anything could have happened to me. I should have just picked up the phone. I should have just talked to my mum. Running away just caused more problems.
I went missing because I went drinking with older boys and passed out. I met my friend on the Metrolink. I was talking to an older boy. They invited me to have a drink at his flat. We had a few drinks and my friend went home. She asked me to come, but I was having a good time. I passed out and woke up in the man's bed. I was 14 years old. I should have avoided drinking at the older man's house. I should have went home with my friend.
I ran away from home because I was struggling to tell my parents who I really am. They wouldn't understand the homophobia.
Why does this life seem so messed up to me? Why can't people accept what I want to be? But no, that doesn't happen where I'm from, you see. Cause people chatting about me constantly. Life's been kinda hard. Just thinking back when I used to look at girls and think that I ain't into that. Had to hide it from my dad, feeling kinda sad because he should've just supported me. That's why I'm so fucking mad.
I joined a dating site looking for strangers online who knew what I was going through. I got talking to an older man who made me feel wanted, loved. Little did I know I was being exploited, used and controlled. I confided in a friend. She gave me a leaflet. It gave me the info I needed to get help and advice. I wish I would have read that leaflet sooner.
Right. So, obviously, that video focused on some subjects we haven't talked about a little bit, like the exploitation and stuff. But I want to have Charlotte and Richard lead this bit because you are young people, and I want you to kind of we'll go for Charlotte first. Your thoughts on those issues for people running away, young people running away, and perhaps how they're compounded by the lockdown or any other extra reasons you think are really important to talk about. Go.
I mean, as shown by the video, young people run away for loads of different reasons, and I think probably the lockdown has really impacted that. Say if you're not you don't feel safe at home, or you feel like you could be safer somewhere else, and you don't want to ring out for help or anything. Some people might view it as a last resort, and that's like a lack of information as well. With the final boy, who said if he had information sooner, it would have made everything a lot easier. And I think lockdown definitely would have impacted a lot of, not even just young people, but people in, with domestic violence and things like that, who feel completely trapped, having to be inside with people and not being able to meet family or friends to talk about it. Yeah, I think it would have had a massive impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richard?
I haven't really got anything else. Like what Charlotte said, lockdown, I feel like had made it so young people would want to move out for domestic violence, for like have like one people in the video said having arguments with the parents, not in my opinion, not feeling loved, and feel like they can be loved somewhere else.
Do you think that's a real important impact, like people feeling loved or connected to someone else? Do you think that's a big thing that leads them to want to run away?
I think so. I mean, I think it's a combination of things, but I think if you generally feel like you're not appreciated or loved by the people that you're around all the time, I think it's going to have a massive impact. You know, if you'd rather be with people who you feel like appreciate you and love you, I think that's a big cause of why people would think about running away. If they're just unhappy at home generally, they'd want to be with people that they feel comfortable with.
I mean, Anthea, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's also a reason why lots of people turn to drugs and alcohol, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, definitely. That sense of not having that connectedness to others.
Yeah, I mean, it does, you know, I think we need to be quite aware of that as well. So yeah, but that video, I found it. I just thought it was quite prescient to add, and not too bad. Right, so I kind of want to end our little talk on talking about missing people by just sharing literally a very quick search just on Facebook. I know it's an old person's subject matter, but of some groups that have been sharing stuff. So let me just, I have blocked out some stuff. Let me go there we go. So obviously we've got Northamptonshire Police. They have a dedicated missing persons team, so they often share stuff just on their Facebook page and other social media, but there's also a charity organisation that I found called Northamptonshire Search and Rescue. They kind of normally use it to share other stuff. They're just a voluntary group. I'm just pointing out, this is just Facebook from me looking for 5 minutes, so there'll be loads of stuff up there. KT and MW Missing People Group, that's again just, they're not a charity, they're just people that just share stuff from around the country. Homeless and Missing Under 18s UK, so this is a specific group where you have to join it specifically because it's meant to be private. But from when I worked with the Hope Centre, just so people are aware, most homeless charities will not give out people's details because they look at protecting those individuals. Does that make sense? So sometimes if you report a missing person to a homeless charity, they might not be very forthcoming because obviously they don't know the situation of that young person or persons going missing.
Could be trying to
yes. So
the reason why they run away or something.
Yeah. So generally, if you see something on like the police Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and then another recognised kind of charity page, I would say you can probably share it or look into it or give information. But other stuff it gets a bit more blurry. And we've got another one, Safe Haven Missing. A community organisation, they're nationwide, and then Missing UK is on there as well. So Charlotte and Richard, you are on Instagram. Have you seen any missing person posts on Instagram?
I've seen, the ones that I've seen are from people that I know, my friends that have shared them or put them on their story and things like that. But I haven't seen personally any like missing people pages on Instagram. I haven't looked, but I haven't come across any. And I think there probably should be a bit more of that, maybe a bit more awareness.
Yeah. Do you think it's something for Northampton between us we should set up?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Anthea? Cross-organisation sort out.
I do think it's a trick miss, to be honest, unless a young person's following Northamptonshire Police, which I don't know if they do.
No. Sorry.
Yeah, for it. So yeah, I just randomly. Yeah.
But I get lots of random things pop up on Instagram, which I'm really not interested in at all. So it would make sense to have a random, you know, those when people go missing, to have those random pop-ups that I'd probably be more interested in. So,
and things that can help spread awareness and things like that, rather than just things you're not interested in.
Yeah. I mean, I already get enough stuff on social media of stuff I'm not interested in. I don't want any more. I'd like some good stuff, please, that's useful for people. Well, maybe, do you know what, Charlotte? Maybe that's something we can talk about with our young leaders.
That'd be a good idea.
And we can bring in some other organisations. I can talk to Community Courtyard, and got Anthony, you obviously from Engage, and we can see what young people think about it and what we should do with it. Because we have the power and we have the technology to do this kind of thing. It's very good. Right. So is there anything else people want to kind of round out our missing persons conversation about before we go on to something nice and happy?
Just know that if you do have feeling of running away, just know people are out there. Just talk to someone.
Yeah. I think Richard's just summed up the last 40 minutes right for us right there.
Talk to someone.
Boom. Thanks, Richard. That's why.
Yeah, we could have cut this like 40 minutes short to saying, run away.
Conversation, isn't it?
Just talk to someone.
That's why you're a legend, Richard. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of support networks around there. I mean, as I said. At the beginning, there are some young people that we know through Free to Talk, and Anthony said the same for Engage and Aquarius, and people they know that have gone missing. There are loads of different organisations you can talk to, individuals, friends, peers, teachers, youth workers, parents, you know, whatever. Just pick someone that you're comfortable with. I think that's the best advice to give. Right, so. I've got a nice story, a really nice story that I want to share that I've read about this morning before we kind of go things that we'd like around. But before that, I do have a kind of it's not a funny story, but did anyone hear about the fire in Semilong from last night? Yes. So basically, an electrical conduit building apparently caught fire, and everyone was powers out, including two of our workers. Because they live in Semilong, bless them. But luckily, they weren't doing anything at 5 o'clock in the morning, waiting for everything to turn. And you were asleep, and you don't live anywhere near Semilong. So apparently there was some kind of electrical fire and everything caught on. Bless them. So that was the fun of Northampton this week. But this is my feel-good story that I really love. A new cafe and retro sweet shop has opened in Kingsthorpe that supports young adults with learning difficulties. How cool is that?
Oh, is it just opened?
It's pretty much just opened, yeah. Now I try and support projects like this as much as possible. Like, does anyone know about the Good Loaf in town at all? So, I mean, yeah, that's cool. So, for young people's purposes, the Good Loaf in town, they basically started off working with women who've just come out of prison or out of difficult situations and all this kind of stuff to kind of get them back into work and build up and empower them and build up their self-confidence. And it got to a stage where they were creating artisan bread that was being sold to like local businesses, including pubs and restaurants, which is wicked. They also do like training courses, teaching how to make bread all together. It's a wicked project. And to have another project like that in Northampton, but supporting young adults with learning difficulties, I think is brilliant. It's amazing. I really love it. So if anyone else finds out some more projects like this, let me know, because I think they're ace. I think they're brilliant. Right. So we've got to that stage where it's the time for us to share a cool, fun thing that happened to us this week that we want to tell everyone, or since we were last online with Free to Talk TV. So, Charlotte, what was your thing?
I'll just say mine's from Easter Sunday. It's just for the first time in a few months, I got to see a lot of my family, and my brother came back from university. And it was just nice spending some time. And the weather was really nice as well. It was nice just spending time with everyone, catching up, things like that.
Oh, so that's nice, isn't it? I do like that. Anthea, what about yours?
My good news story is again about the world opening up. So I went out last night and had some food.
What? What is this amazing thing? Eating out.
And I might have had one beer as well.
Oh, scandalous on a school night.
Yeah, exactly. But that felt good. That felt good to be. I mean, it was very cold, but it felt good to have that kind of, just to be out, with friends, doing things we used to do.
I like it. Because I'm still not allowed to go to the pub until July, unfortunately, because of my personal situation and COVID still being around, which is really frustrating. And I don't have a garden because I live in a flat. I live in a flat, no garden beers for me. Right, Richard, what about yours?
How come you can't go outside until July when everything opens in June?
Because of my partner's health, you see, because she's still too much of a risk to be out and about with the general public. So,
right, okay.
I thought I told you all about it, Richard. I thought you knew.
No.
Oh no, I told you. I thought I told you about, but maybe not the time frame because I've been filling that all in all this week with other people. Go anyway with your happiness.
I have two.
Go for it. I've got two.
One, I hit affiliate on Twitch.
Way! That's wicked. That means Richard can make a little bit of money out of the affiliate status on Twitch. But also, I should add in this that Richard also helps me run the Free2talk TV Twitch. So, Free2talk Gaming Twitch rather. So, if anyone likes watching someone play computer games and have a laugh, we use it to support young people and teach them some better gaming, should we say, behaviours. Like, not swearing at each other and not throwing their controllers across the room, which we even know this week on the game we playing, I got everybody killed and they still didn't throw their controllers across the room. Instead, it was impressive. We were playing a pirate game and I accidentally, on purpose, got us all eaten by a giant shark. I know it sounds ridiculous, but instead of throwing their controllers across the room, everybody voted to put me in the brig. So
that was my fault.
I think there's definitely we're going forward with the processes there. So what's your second one, Richard?
Last Monday to last Sunday.
Last Monday
WrestleMania
to last
week.
Sunday. Oh, It was over several days, wasn't it? Like different stuff, wasn't it?
It was an entire week full of wrestling.
For those that don't know, Richard loves wrestling.
And WrestleMania week is the biggest week in wrestling history.
Yeah.
Where every big show happens and WWE, the biggest wrestling company, puts on their biggest show.
Does that happen every year, Richard? Does it happen every year?
Yes.
No, does it?
Yeah, so Richard and I do have a few conversations about wrestling because I've been watching wrestling since I was his age as well. So I've kind of lost track with it. And I've still got some photos somewhere of me dressed up as various wrestlers. I might have to dig them out as long as they're appropriate. No, you see, is that the one wrestler you know? So Richard might like this. I did dress up as Stone Cold Steve Austin, Richard, at one point. He's taking his headphones off now. Oh, he's actually putting a wrestling costume on.
Wrestling mask.
Is this what he's doing? He's got a t-shirt. I was getting ready for him to get fully dressed up there.
The Undertaker.
Love it. So
I don't buy t-shirts often, but because he's one of my favorite wrestlers and he just retired, I have to buy one.
Yeah.
How old is he now? Because I used to watch him when I was about 15 or 16.
Do I say because you might have just maybe exposed your age?
Oh, whoa, Richard! Right.
Because if I say how old she is,
no, yes, never suggest that to a lady. He's 53.
63. Okay.
Wow, amazing.
I'm old enough to use Facebook. That's what I am.
Old enough for Facebook. Yeah, Richard. I mean, you took your headphones off earlier, but I did dress up as Stone Cold Steve Austin once.
Yeah, I know.
And Rowdy Roddy Piper. I've done Rowdy Roddy Piper. Who else? My friend did a really good Mankind with Socko. That was really good. I'll have to find these pictures and send them to you. Anyway, right. So my two things. My first one is fairly kind of simple because last weekend I got to see my parents, my sister, and my grandparents for the first time in a year. Just got in the car and drove down to see them because they've been my grandparents are very high risk and stuff, and like, you know, they'd had their vaccinations and stuff by this point, so I could see them. So that made me very happy. But my second thing is, now I did mention this to everyone earlier, but I've made a little video of it just because I wanted to entertain my friends, really. But I thought it'd entertain everybody. So last week, for myself and my girlfriend, I ordered us some roller skates so that we can start going out now. The sun's coming out, and I've got some, you know, elbow pads and knee pads and stuff like that because I can't remember the last time I roller skated. But I had to, obviously, put them on. And this was the result. And there you go. Because I'm stuck in the flat all day, every day. I've just gone mad. Right, but anyway, but thank you to everyone that's commented and watched and given us a like. We've got a few likes there across stuff. And thank you, Anthea, for coming to join us.
You're welcome.
I will Monday. Do you know what? On Monday, I will look at what we can do as a cross-organisational thing for drugs and alcohol. See if we can do a live debate. Because I'm trying to sort out Free to Talk to actually go out into schools at some point, so we can touch base on that. But as always, thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Richard. Anthea, we're going to say bye to the stream, and then I'll end the broadcast. But we'll still be here just in case you kind of go bye and just press the button straight away.
Press leave.
Yeah, bye. I've had enough of this. Right, but thanks to everyone for watching. Say bye to the stream. Bye, stream.
Bye.
Bye.